Alright, this is called Stone Perspective. I'd like to talk about a concept that I have been thinking about. The idea is that the timing of the outing of men in various positions of power, this is something that's been coming over time. And it's a bit of a floodgates issue. One could argue that this could have happened over more of a period of time, and that it's curious in how fast and how huge of a wave it's been over such a short period of time. You could also argue that periodically over time, these things have always kind of come out, but not in totality. You hear about a person here and there who get busted for, sexually assaulting or raping a woman, and they could be in a position of power, and sometimes you'd hear a few. But to my knowledge, and in the comments below, I'd always be interested in hearing factual-based criticism and counter-arguments backed up with some sort of sources, more than one. Which is rather specific. Obviously, you can comment whatever you want, but I won't take it seriously if you don't have a source to really make any specific claims against what I'm saying. Though I will read it, of course. But what I believe is that the reason it's happened in such a specific succession, in a sea change on which, like I was getting onto, I've never heard of. Personally, of course, I've never seen, but I'm under 30 years old. I'm not that old. But I don't think I've read about it. I've even read about certain, how far. Even that I think does have perhaps a strong connection to it. But nevertheless, Fox News type of situation where a whole radio station is ousted. Well, those type of things, or radio station, a news organization, have occurred before. Not too terribly commonly, but they have. And I think a mix of things, reality and impatient people will definitely, if anybody comments on this video, impatient people will definitely jump to conclusions or take certain bits of what I'm saying to try to create a narrative that's untrue but fits a particular agenda, whether it's making me look pro or anti-Trump and pro is anti that. More as a Canadian, more of a middle ground observation is that these things happening, these claims happening in such a short period of time, in a rather specific period of time, specific era in American history, is, I believe, a result of multiple facets: reality, orchestration, and the way those two things can mingle. I don't want to necessarily say totalitarian, but the universe creates anybody with an agenda of any kind, personal, to the point of just wanting to get a girlfriend, to wanting to win the 105, find money on the ground. If you expose yourself to those things, you can do it. You can bend things to your will or see those opportunities. And I believe Hillary Clinton and her camp, I believe a lot of the feminist movement, and the powers that be, shadowy figures who don't want to see Trump in power and see, despite the fact the man is clearly doing the bidding of donors, at least some donors, and instigating wars in the Middle East like we might never have seen anywhere before, with the Jerusalem capital issue that came up, which is a very clear problem. I personally, just me, believe that Jerusalem. She would be for the Jews. That's the way I believe it. However, inside Jerusalem, the idea of there being Muslims and Muslim culture, I think, should be just a little more easily accepted. But that's a complicated issue that's going to take thousands of years, if ever, to really deal with. But he's doing these things that are dangerous, and also Hillary Clinton and those people are just plain pissed off that they lost, and they want it to go back in Democratic power. They want to use Bernie Sanders in the same way they did before, but do another bait and switch, or cripple him in such a way, or have the man, and I don't know if they'll deliberately try to get him killed in office, but just have the man die and have somebody else take his place. Every way they can. That's where you get witch magic and occultism things coming out, because, how did they do this and that? Well, you mix, like I said, you mix the opportunities that come to you with intent, and Hillary Clinton's camp, just those interested people, feminists, people who really are pissed off, and like I said, a lot of people, women who just see this opportunity, maybe not for anything more than it is like I can get this guy for, pure reasons. And you might say, there is an agenda. Despite all this pussyfooting I've been doing around with this topic, the whole point that I have is there is, in such a way that it can be, maybe in an Alex Jonesy kind of way, but I've done all this, I've said all this stuff to anybody who's got patience to hear me ramble, that, I am not necessarily afraid of saying it, but once I say it, there's gonna be people who just will never understand, will see it as one way, but I definitely believe, as much as possible, the Clinton campaign and various others who have similar interests are deliberately encouraging, pushing, and exposing the celebrities, people in positions of power, to get Donald Trump exploited or replaced, fired, forced to resign, dead, by any cost, so that they can have him gone. And no other thing has worked, but even the most powerful men have been taken down because of sexual allegations. The Catholic Church was brought to its knees over this issue, and resulted in them getting, the most progressive pope in my lifetime, for sure. I mean, the guy is very, very, very progressive. Not that progressive is a be-all, end-all term and necessarily a stamp of approval, but by the definition, he has a progressive way of thinking. And unlike the actual progressives, most of the Democrats, most of the people in politics, are not interested in creating a rather peaceful utopia. And it's just to the degree that you get it. Donald Trump could create situations that we've never believed, but they believe that Hillary Clinton could do something that was manageable. What are they going to do with Mike Pence? Are they going to push through the last 4 years? They can't get a Democrat in right away, but they will try. And they probably will win. It's a bubble that is going to burst on its own either way. The faithful will be such a minority that it won't resonate cross country, whether he tries to run away again or whether someone on his back tries to run again. It never quite works when you do the follow-up to a snake oil salesman. So, despite all this rambling, I think, and I hope the point, that I think it's been an organized effort to oust as many people as possible right now, to press the button, to press that button to have it all happen now, I believe that has been an orchestrated attempt to destroy Donald Trump, which has a lot of implications and says a lot about the country that the Americans live in. Is it good? Is it bad? Well, it's definitely bad because it's dishonest. And it's definitely not just good because of the same reasons. It is very good because there's benefits to not having Donald Trump in office. However, is that the right way to do it? Leave a comment below if you're so interested, and let me know. I've seen a lot of videos where people seem to ramble for long periods of time. I feel like this might be a bit disorganized, but I'm interested in what you have to say in my format, or lack thereof. Is Donald Trump part of a plot to get him kicked out for the only thing that might actually get him kicked out? Sexually assaulting women? Or is it an entirely separate issue? Let me know.